You wanna-
Thank you. Got it.
Okay. Well, then I'll start since you have already started, so I might as well start as well. All right. This is called Getting Around. Word must be getting around town, on the street, and down the goddamn lane. And it's wearing the tread on my tires thin. One head shrink decides to retire on me. Then another puts in for early retirement. Then the next one decides to shorten his lifespan on purpose. And now my brand new dentist, before I have my first appointment, does himself in. That's
Is
just
that
an,
is that true, Al?
yeah.
Hmm?
Word gets around and they fucking check out on me.
Hmm?
And what's this?
Hmm?
It's being
So-
recorded. Got it.
Hmm?
Okay, I fucking got it.
Dentists do have the highest suicide rates.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
Can you
true.
blame him? Hmm?
he's the first one. Yeah, I know.
Hmm?
I can't figure it's whether they enjoy giving pain or they absorb the pain and then blow themselves off.
Hmm?
But at any rate, this was my first dentist, so I'm making my rounds.
Hmm?
Okay, and I thought I'd start out with some book reviews. I'm going to give you my very latest, and then I have a couple from Herb, if you recall his. Tom Herb is a guy that I've known since 1970, and he's twisted in a sort of an angle that sways from this side to never. All right, this is the latest book review that I got. I don't think he's kidding, and more's the tragedy.
Yeah.
End of review. Okay, I do get some good ones, don't I? This is one from Herb. No, I'll just start out reading it. Well, just finished Mexico City Booze a while back in the commode where all such Farber works must be enjoyed, if that is the right word. Like the cover, a break from the paint splatters and smears. Like the last two works, the bay and the beach. Finished the book off in an upward swoon. Also struggled through George and Gracie, the musical, a book that every man should write for his partner, but never do. And that's just part of it. A nice a nice break from the piss and moan works that begin in the second half of the offering, which I completely agree with. I screwed the book up by putting my regular shit in there. Anyway, just second half of the book offering. And as far as musical, I found the audio portion to be missing. Absolutely absent. Not a song or a note to carry the tune, but overall interesting. Your smiling countenance on the front cover reminded me of Hitler snipping schnapps at the Burgers Garden. Have a nice storm this evening. That's the end of Herb's first one. Okay, and this is the other one. Finished diamonds in the rough in the can, where all Ferber works should be enjoyed or tolerated. A book you had to write. Probably quite. Does anybody know anything about that book? No? Is that a no all the way around? Nobody's fucking answering.
Wait,
Which book? The
Uh,
diamonds in the.
Diamonds in the rough.
yeah,
Does
Oh, I
any-
remember
yes,
what.
I remember.
I remember the cover.
Yes.
She
remember it
remembers
well.
the cover. Well, this is all about what happens in between the covers. So now that I know I'm
remember.
starting off in the fucking wilderness,
You're not. You're not.
I remember.
I've got some I like that I saved to read.
I am in the fucking wilderness. It didn't take long either, did it? All right, Jesus, sakes, fucking. You know what? I'm going to skip this one entirely. It would take a half an hour for the introduction. Never mind. Well, things have started off the same way they usually do. Okay, how come every time tomorrow gets here, it's today again? And to top it all off, my eyes have taken to crossing themselves without consoling me first. 15, 20 minutes. Sneaks up from behind sometimes. She had the face I was meant to see, the hand I was meant to hold, the mind I was meant to wrestle with and lose. That's Gracie. Okay, this is for a guy that I used to know and Paul used to know named Dick.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The other day, I said to Dick, have a nice day. And he said, sorry, but I have other plans. Cool dude. Okay, this called If I Could Do It All Over Again. If I said that, if I even so much as thought about doing it all over again, you have my permission to lock me in a room and set the fucking room on fire. This called Cutting Down the Bunny's Tail. Chop that motherfucker's tail off for eating the flowers in my honey's garden. Fuck him and his whole goddamn family. Okay, that's about shrinks. Deli order. I'll take mine dead on rye.
Okay.
So I ask you, what if one shoe falls off one foot and the other shoe is 2 foot? Jesus fucking Christ. I don't know how that happens. Is it too afraid to drop?
I lost you there.
Apparently, so did everybody else. Don't worry about it.
You were waiting for the second shoe to drop.
Yeah, and it was too afraid to do it.
Oh, I get it
I gotta
now.
fucking explain this shit. I feel like Judge Judy. If I gotta fucking explain this shit to you, go home and ask your mother. Okay, this is called shit in the woods. A bear shits in the woods, no problem. A deer shits in the woods, no problem. I shit in the woods, police sirens from every direction.
An all-time classic.
True. Okay, this is called sea. The seagull and the pelican went to sea and peed in a cheap green boat. End of poem. You didn't hear it. What the fuck? All right, this is good. So far, I'm really enjoying it.
Got a serious crew tonight.
Anybody got a the word I'm looking for? An M80 they used to be called, or cherry bombs.
Hmm.
And roll them out. Okay. Also, I got an email from the United States Department of Homeland Maturity. Told me I was eligible for their services. I told them, no thanks. I haven't mastered immaturity yet. Well, this is fucking exciting. Drove up to a photo. This is actual event that took place. Drove up to a photomat. Shows you how old this is. Handed the girl my ticket. She says, "Were you a substitute teacher at Woodrow Wilson High School?" "Yeah, why?" "I remember you. You were the only substitute who fought back." Well, that's fucking hilarious. I don't know what the other ones were. Um, ah, this is an old pickup line that I had from 7th grade. "Hey, honey, you want to swap some? You want to swap some spit?" Okay. But that had a delayed reaction somewhere in the peanut gallery.
Wearing headphones.
Judge Judy said, "Is that so? I'm 5'9".
Some.
I don't know how to turn my volume.
Okay, I'll just sit here. It's okay.
Sorry, we have a guest, a human guest.
Hi, Lisa.
All right, just like the last reading, I give the fuck up. Reading's over.
Hmm.
I'm a fucking bitch. I'm ready to fucking shut the thing down. If it's all the same to you, there's nothing to talk about anyway. Where's Ed McMahon when you actually do want to buy a magazine?
Just turn the screen.
Okay,
Big screen.
let's go the other way. Let's really go the other way. Well, that's okay. It's called kinetic. Movement, energy will not abide lethargy of the spirit, will not allow lethargy. I'm done. This is it. This is it. I quit. It's over. I fucking quit.
Okay.
What? Fuck
It's been good talking to you guys.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything to read?
Sure. I got, I like a couple of these ones in this George and Gracie thing.
Go for it.
One's called, it's a Food Chain, a novel. First there was the word, and the word was Kathy. Anything after that is impertinent. The end. I thought it was cute. And then I liked the indigenous people. You know, the people who lived here, the people whose land was theirs way before us immigrants from Europe. The people we white bastard motherfuckers slaughtered when they resisted us scumbags from stealing their country. The people we fucked over so horribly to this very day and think nothing of it. I like that one too for some reason. And then the other one came out of that train wreck book.
I always had a problem with the term Indian giver.
Since it's almost Halloween, I wanted to read Ghost. Gus said he is the ghost who for years has protected someone with mental and emotional defects, kept him from losing his mind completely, pulled him back from the edge, reportedly over the years, time and time again, pulled him out of the darkness of depression, pulled him back away from suicide, pulled him away from the constraints of, infused him with energy to keep moving forward, showed him enough light to help him almost smile once in a while.
That's really good.
The end. And then there's two more, neon windows. Gus said he ventured down the avenue of neon windows, an orange headless camel, a pink flamingo, and a flaming red balloon. Two windows with purple ladies of the night, blue seagulls, black mambas, yellow hummingbirds, 6 brown psychiatrists sitting behind desks of the deep maroon red mockingbirds, green street thugs, and 4 white angry junkyard dogs. 2 gray monkeys throwing feces at pedestrians. And then this one right here. Hey, Dad. The spirit of my father resides on my shoulder, resides in the photograph taken by wife that captured his entire soul. His face rings silent in my ears, his appreciation of the human heart, his understanding of life that existed far beyond words, interlaced between clouds. My father's spirit of simple truths, of simple knowledge, of simple smiles, of simple, honest, unfiltered feelings, put his hand against my cheek before he died.
Nice.
Well, that was a good one.
That's my uncle. And
That's your uncle? Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
like that one.
and it was very true.
That is not a train wreck. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's very true.
Kathy, I read one about you and it was good.
Well, he was
Guys.
trying to get back in, but Hop's gone now. So
No, he's not gone.
Hop's there.
Is that gone?
He just turned
Up
off
there.
his camera and yeah,
Yeah.
probably
I
stepped
read
in.
I read The Food Chain, a novel. First there was the word, and the word was Kathy, and anything after that is impertinent. The end.
Nice.
And that's what I have.
all right. We let him back in. Oh, Larry made it. All
Larry,
right, Larry.
All right.
Larry, you need to put your video on.
My video on?
Yes. There should be 2 little dots, or I don't know, on mine it's 3 dots in the corner. And if you click on that, one of the options is video on. Al, you need to turn your video on. Unless you want to just be the voice from nowhere.
Well, I'd rather be that right.
What's wrong now?
I can't hear
Okay.
Or
anyone.
you just bring your
Oh, no,
cursor
you
to the
changed it.
bottom
Yeah, I have to figure out what I changed.
You
Cursor to the
changed
bottom.
input.
Yeah, I know.
and you
No,
in
Input
a
up there.
Yeah.
a
yeah,
video.
And
a camera.
no,
bulletin.
it was the middle one. Now I
Yeah, it
don't know
was.
what you did. Yeah. That's all.
All right, now
That's why
we're
I
good.
said don't touch it.
Yeah.
So now you can't hear anyone at all?
No.
Hop can't hear us?
Apparently.
I can hear everybody, but I can see most everybody, but I
Is
can't
it back?
figure
Yeah,
out
now
how
I
to go to video.
I can send you the link. You can log on separately if you want.
Oh, God.
Hmm.
Well, I turned on the
You can hear a little
Here.
bit from here.
I'll send
The
you.
video?
I turned on the speaker and I turned on the fucking gallery.
I can plug in my phone.
Yeah,
I don't have a plug.
Oh, there I
I
am.
can't do it with my phone.
There's
so-
I'll
Larry.
give you mine.
There I am.
Okay.
I don't have Zoom on mine.
Oh,
No.
all right. Don't worry about it.
Hi, everybody.
Just leave it alone. Fine.
Hi, Larry.
There I am.
Oh, there you go.
I'm back.
Sitting here in spirit.
Welcome back.
Larry's
You
there.
can leave for air conditioning.
Okay.
It's-
I'm
I've
fine.
been here for a long time. I couldn't fit, I was just waiting, so I decided to
Okay.
go back
Just sitting here in spirit.
and re-sign in a few times.
Alright,
Great to see everybody.
alright.
All right, I'll ask a question before I proceed any further. Has everybody completed all their conversations? If I don't get an answer, I'm not starting.
Yes.
Yes,
Hi.
I don't have anybody to talk to.
the dog. You have the dog.
No, he's gone.
Oh, Tom's gone. Yeah, this is appropriate. Sometimes I forget to euthanize myself before I get up. That one worked out.
Hmm.
It had rained all day. She was starved for the sun. Decided to open the windows to let the 100 proof humidity inside. Thank you, Gracie.
You're welcome.
This is Gracie. I'm home, honey. Did you miss me? Of course I did, honey bunny. I always miss you, particularly when you're here. What's in a name? I don't know. What is in a fucking name? Aside from letters. My mother taught me to always be honest. So I will. Fuck off, scumbag. As time goes by, I seem to be becoming a wiser ass as time goes by. Think about this. It's Sunday. Right around this time last week, it was Sunday. Right around this time next week, it will be Sunday again. Don't you get the feeling something really fishy about that? Yes, no, or maybe.
Yes.
Definitely.
Oh, then I can't tell you the rest of the poem.
No.
Okay. If you all said no, I would have said no. Really? Okay, fine. Go fuck yourself.
Oh,
But I can't say that now.
okay. That's good.
Scumbag. If you're a scumbag, you're a scumbag. Not much to be done about it. So learn to live with it. I have. Lost my place in the world chronologically, physically, emotionally, practically, morally. It happened first day of school, third grade, 8 years old, and fixated on the killer legs of Miss McGowan. And that's the absolute truth.
Can I assume she wasn't a nun?
Uh,
No,
you could see her legs. Just figure that one out.
But she had dirty habits.
Mhm.
Yes. She did have a dirty habit. Okay, this is Gracie as GPS. Enter request to point from point A to B. She takes you from A to Q, always the scenic route. From Q to P to R to Z and back to C, always the motherfucking scenic route. And Gracie in conversation, same goddamn thing. Question of the day. Who hid the salami and where? Mhm. I've learned I can't change what people do. I've also learned I can make them really, really regret doing it. Always nice to ask is the title of this one. So I asked her, how hot and humid is it out there? And she answered, the wind feels really good. She always answers somebody's question. End of poem. That's my girl. Deaf, dumb, and so on. Sometimes I go deaf for a moment or three while writing a poem and can't hear the speed bumps and hiccups I've inserted to fuck it up. All right, this is a medical poem. This doesn't have to do with a rectal exam this time. It's called pepperoni's disease. If your tool is bending in the wrong direction and it won't straighten, you might have pepperoni's disease. Call the wand wizard. He'll hammer that sucker back into place to avoid necessity for shock treatment. Does anybody have any idea what the fuck that was about?
I do.
It's an inside fucking joke. Okay.
Also reminds me of a lot of signs I saw in India, but I don't think that's your intent.
I never know what my intent is. Okay, life for death. There has to be a state where you can get sentenced to life for committing suicide. End of poem. Suicide's a capital offense, is it not?
It'll probably happen in Florida soon.
Probably.
The punishment is eternal life in Florida.
How's it feel down there in eternal life? My Floridian friends.
What do you think? I
It's
sold
cooling
my house.
off in the morning a little bit.
Yeah.
I sold my house.
It's gonna get cooler and it's gonna be all right, but it's crazy.
Yeah. Sold my estate down there, thank goodness.
Okay.
95 degrees.
Really?
Then Punta
Yeah,
Gorda.
it's starting to cool off.
Okay, this is called caution sign. Put a caution, hazardous waste, do not enter sign on my office door. My boss told me to take it down immediately, so I did. Then I put it back up when she went out for lunch. This is when I was a addictions therapist, and I thought they might find it humorous to think just beyond the door where they were supposed to get an assessment, the guy doing the assessment was hazardous waste. Nobody thought that was funny except me. This is a found poem.
It's fun.
Hong Kong singer-songwriter has died after trying to take her own life. End of poem. Yes. This too shall pass. Airplane. I saw an airplane flying in the sky. Can you believe that? In the damn sky. End of poem. Okay, this is one that I actually posted on Facebook. It's called Progress in All the Wrong Directions. 4, count them, 4 years ago, I was 5'8", 165 pounds. Progressed to 5'6", 188 pounds. Down and up. Go figure. Let's see, where are we? Okay.
Pick me, pick me, pick me.
Okay, weather lady.
Yay.
Well, recent weather has damn near sucked the life out of me, so we are not of speaking terms at the moment. You want the fucking weather, you turned into the wrong channel. Or go ask the bastard who writes this shit.
That's it.
Good one, Kathy.
Well, oh, this is all one thing? Okay.
Oh my God.
Here's an end of summer editorial from the weather management. We're almost out of the clutches of another miserable summer, the most prolific body odor producing season of the year. I stay inside all summer, every goddamn summer. I hate the fucking summer. Do I look like I hate the fucking summer? Only one benefit to its existence, the increase of visibility of female flesh. You got a problem with that? Fuck off. Hot luck at 11.
Good job.
Very nice.
Thank you.
My sentiments exactly. Them. Some people wear the whole fucking world down. Oh, I forgot I was going to read something from this. Oh, that's right. I started that. I got aborted, didn't it? I can't do fortification. I get jammed up in closed spaces. I'll keep returning to the battle site until I'm healed, or until the bastards want to mix it up again. The poems that I'm reading from this book, this is that Aftermath book where I had the year or 2 years of heavy duty depression. And I read the funny ones from it last time I read from this. It's called Eclectic. I've been known to wear 2 different size shoes, to listen to Miles Davis and Chuck Berry at the same time, to mix blue and brown and silence and sound, to speak to the Dalai Lama in Portuguese, to lust after wives who've grown tired of my tricks to deny my age and play on the monkey bars all day long. It's called Burning Embers. I have fields of burning embers before my eyes, in the music I choose to listen to, deep in my heart, deep in my soul, burning ember memories of one brief time in my life when I wasn't lonely. I live in a world I would not wish upon my worst enemy, If I have one, don't get me wrong, I have people who don't like me, even despise me. But I don't have time or energy to dislike or despise them. There's too much other bullshit going on around me that I dislike, that I despise, that dehumanizes so many in this one and only life we're given. Is called rough terrain. Not easy with the fields of stones, the rocks, tar pits, quicksand, man-eating butterflies, endless stretches of creature swallowing sand, swampland, deadly insects, tax collectors, the menacing ghost of the selective service system, carpetbaggers and other confidence men, Venus flytraps, all manner of carnivorous foliage, creeping roaches, and sewer rats. It's called Split Rock. I slipped, that's right, I slipped on the incline of this odd split rock, tore a hunk of flesh out of my knee that I stuffed back in that left on ugly scar that I still have. But I still walk and I still dance and I still speak and I still breathe and I still dream and I still think the world's the sickest joke I've ever seen. That's not what. It's called hierarchy. I saw an arc of lightning flash above a mountain, stab its crest with uninvited electrical voltage, set a brush fire in biblical manner, etching the 10 commandments of love for everyone who ever dared. It's called friction. This odd affliction's got me missing that strange friction between sticks and humans that makes fire and passion the stuff of love and fury, the stuff of fiery life and brutal death, the stuff of unmistakable definition, whichever way it goes. Called Witch Hunt. I'd like to blame this protracted bluesy funk on a witch, a sleazy siren on a rock. I'd like to organize a posse to hunt her, track her down, and burn her at the stake, but I can't, because it would be nothing but a witch hunt where there ain't no witch, just a quirky turn of chemicals in the brain that pin me to the mat for what's getting close to a year. So truth is, I'm just frustrated and looking for someone to hit. It's called Downhill Rider. I've been a downhill rider for much longer than I want. Been a downhill rider for much longer than I care. Keep picking up speed so fast I can hardly see things. As I go past, the world's becoming just one big blur, and the wind's taking away all my hair. I'm a downhill rider, ain't got no brakes, and I know the bottom down there is a downhill rider. I ain't got no brakes that work, and I know the bottom's coming soon. I'm looking up I'll try one last time to see the sun. Called Glimpses. Last couple days, I seen faint glimpses of happiness. Been able to briefly imagine what it's like, been able to imagine feeling it again. I don't feel strong, but I'm hanging on a possibility. This is called waddle. I've been down to waddle like a duck. I've been known to waddle like a duck with just about a fifth in me. Bark like a dog, whinnying like a horse. Bite like a scorpion, coil like a snake, strut like the cock of the roost. Drive the Marion Andretti slither on a walk like a worm, crawl like a turtle, swim like a rock. It's called Gone. Depression is heavier than humility, holds things down in the same oppressive fashion, makes each breath a labored sigh, takes away all initiative, kills impulse, at least the impulse to paint. I am left with my fingers plunking keys, documenting pain. Stalingrad. They sent waves of thousands of men without rifles, with rifles without bullets, and used what bullets they had to shoot those who would not go, to signify it is worth countless lives. Defend an idea to knock the chip off the wrong shoulder. The history of the world is filled with such truths. Okay. Might as well keep it on the same mood level. Cuz, how you doing?
I'm here for you, bro.
You ready to read?
Sure am. It fits right in with Al.
Whoa.
That fits in with the rest of it right there. Fucking perfect.
Disappeared.
Couldn't have planned this out much fucking better, could I? Hey, welcome to Disaster.
She's back. She's back.
Just hit the wrong button, probably.
I'm just thinking I'm gonna have fun editing this thing afterwards, but we're just not even gonna. Might be a while.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's genetic, for Christ's sake. Don't worry about it.
What happened was I have hearing aids and I'm directly connected to my iPad right now. But the hearing aids can work by touching them. I mistakenly brushed past my ear, and that's what disconnected us. It's great getting old. Okay.
Guess what? That's what happens to disconnect me from the world, and I don't have a fucking hearing aid.
What I was going to say was the poems that you've been reading tonight, are they from various times or recent?
Oh, this is back to, I guess, 15, 16 years ago. Oh, this is from the book that
Okay.
cover
Got
thing
it.
for. I had the 2 years of depression that I managed to work through, and I read funny ones the last time I'd read from this thing, and I thought I'd read some of the stuff that helped me actually work through it.
Interesting. Okay.
Not fun, but interesting.
Right. Now talk about interesting. What I'm about. This is something that Al wrote a few years ago. And he read it.
And
What?
she promised that she would read it for me.
Yeah,
And that was 2 fucking years ago.
I know. Well, there've been other things to read, so now it's time for this. Al wrote this and read it, and I saw some of this, and I was around for some of this, and I was very moved by it. So I told him the next time, if he wanted it read, that I would read it for him. It's called 6 Nights on the Sun. Had almost, but not quite finished with my final steel cage match with the bottle, and then the legs gave out. Had to be helped to the car by my wife and next door neighbor. Off to the doctor's office, electrocardiogram. Off to the emergency room. When are they going to let me go home to finish off my daily load? That one racing through my head like the flashing lights of an ambulance. Another electrocardiogram, atrial fibrillation, extreme dehydration, flat on my back, surrounded by the entire staff of some television hospital show looking down at me, a human speck under a microscope. Have you ever experienced alcohol withdrawal? No. Forgot to tell them I never let it go below half a tank. We'll give you something to keep you from experiencing withdrawal. Something told me I wasn't going to go get to finish my daily load. By morning, my tank must have been running really low. The miracle drug the miracle drug they gave me must have been a double dose of St. Joseph's baby aspirin, because I was just past the starting of the electric neon technicolor sideshow from hell. I want a cigarette. You can't smoke here. Then let me out. You can't leave. What the fuck do you mean I can't leave? And the beat went on back and forth. I'm in a closet with an aide smoking a cigarette. That may have been part of my delirium tremens business that was going on at the time. But the tribunal was huddled at the nurse's station. I'm on a gurney with tubes stuck in both arms. I want another cigarette. They think I'm from some odd planet in some odd universe they've never heard about, read about, or thought that might be possible. And they don't like what they see. But the men are looking through the window in my room, and it's my room. They don't want anyone exposed to my disgusting disease. I've been swallowed into a bottomless cesspool. I want a pack of cigarettes and a case of whiskey. My hands reach for and pull out all the IV lines. They strap me down, replace the IV lines. The fish swimming through the rain clouds are on fire and headed straight for me. I'm lost in an argument I have no chance to win. They're feeding me barium milkshakes intravenously. I'm shitting and pissing myself. Who's wiping my ass? Changing my fucking jockey shorts. They don't like me. I don't like them. It's a Lithuanian hate-off. I escape from the restraint again, pull out the IV tubes. Again, same routine as last time. Happens at least a third time. Somewhere along this fucking storyline, my cousin calls. I tell her I wanted to be dead long before I got sentenced to whatever was going on. My lungs are sitting in separate chairs laughing at me. I have an appointment at the mortuary, and they tell me I can't go, the bastards. They hate me. They're in cahoots with the guys at the window. I fall out of bed, out of the restraints. Out come the IV tubes, but I've made it to the floor this time. That's progress. My family surrounds me. It's my viewing, and I get to see who showed up. Cool. My wife did not laugh. Nobody laughed but me. They didn't have the jumper cables to pop my heart back into rhythm. Off for a ride in an ambulance to a mechanic shop that had jumper cables. Bang! I was lifted untold centimeters off the jumper cable table. It was at this maintenance shop they determined the 3 liters of blood had seeped through the organs of my body and floated to the inner surface of my skin, creating a gorgeous purple tint to my skin, neck to crotch, ergo human grade. All because the guys at the other body shop put me on blood thinners to avoid a stroke because of the atrial fibrillation and forgot to take me off due to my poor behavior, sending me into shock. It sent me to the floor with a 50-50 shot for early admission to the long dirt nap. Now get this, I developed a bad case of the hiccups. After a day, they decide to give me something for it. After 2 days, they give me more of it. It was Thorazine. After 3 days, they boosted it again. By day 5, the hiccups finally began to subside. On the 6th day, they decided it was time to test my legs. Got me out of bed to see if I could walk without the Thorazine shuffle. First walk in 11 days. My legs were not happy about it. The boys at the new body shop had keenly observed that I had a drinking problem and sent in the A-team to work me over before discharge. A cleric of some variety, a psychologist, and 12-step guy. I listened to their pitches, and each went away, shaking their weary heads. And what I wanted most was a carton of smokes and a case of whiskey, and thus concluded my 6 nights on the sun.
Good job.
Yeah,
Well done.
yeah.
Thank you.
Well done.
Promise fulfilled. Oh, so it's back. Thank you, Joanne. She disappeared again.
Disappeared again.
Jesus Christ. The
She hit
guy
her ear.
hearing aid strikes again. Fuck. The whole goddamn thing.
She's back.
You look great, Joanne. Oh,
I got so excited that I touched my ear again.
I know. I called that one.
Oh, God. I have to tie my hands down.
We will. As my grandmother used to say, Jesus H fucking Christ. It's called dialectics. Certain dialects in this miserable excuse for a country have been proven to be serious, untreatable speech impediments. End of poem. Okay, this is called Again. My brain ran away from home again, but this time it didn't leave a forwarding address. End the poem. Okay, this is called The Phone. Sorry, I can't come to the phone right now. I'm otherwise occupied objectifying women's bodies. Seems I have quite an advanced talent in that area. End of poem. Oh, yeah. Anybody ever see this before?
No.
The original Gus book from
No.
1982.
Great.
Okay. This isn't a review. It's well, there's two things that I want to read. There's a thing that I have in it called Gus Biographical Notes. I'll read that first. Gus can't bring his information in neatly wrapped packages. The store was out of flowered paper, and he's run low on satin bows. He can tell you that his cinders are still out in the street, gathering themselves in the curb. He can't grow up for you, for he is still reaping the harvest of prolonged adolescence, still looking over his shoulder for that notorious band of gypsies that steal homework assignments from children on the way to school. He is lost occasionally for minutes at a time in a ransacked village, interrogating snails about their destinations, checking papers, and verifying fingerprints. Sometimes he is in the cemetery, fingering the lettering on gravestones, searching for a clue, losing the ends of his fingers in the crevices. He can't be with you in the flesh at all times, but at all times he is in your house, falling up the stairs. That's from inside the book. And this is what the woman who published the thing wrote. Her name was Jennifer Welsh, and she was the editor of a magazine called Pudding. And Gus was the first chapbook that she ever published. She had never published a book. Gus was the first one. I'll tell you about the accident. The accident was I sent her about 4 or 5 poems, and one or two of them were Gus poems. She said, I can't use, she sent me a letter saying, I can't use any of these for the magazine, but if you have more of these Gus poems, send them along. I'd like to look at them. And I thought, you want to see some? How about if I send you 70? So I sent her 70 Gus poems. And she wrote me a letter back that I should have probably dug out, but was saying amazingly nice things, like I'd understand if you didn't want me to publish it, if you'd rather have University of Pittsburgh publish it. And I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, I'd like any fucking body to publish it. Long story short, she published 33 of the 70 that I sent her. And this is what she had to say about it. Gus had to get published. He is a significant part of the American scene. He's walking down your street right this minute and looking in your windows. He's thought about applying for your job, making time with your mother. He slept in your car the night you forgot to lock your keys, night you forgot to lock it, and knows what you keep under the front seat. He sucked the grape off the bunch you just bought at Food World. He is part of you and you of him, but you will never admit it. Period. Thank you. That's what she wrote.
Ah,
So that was cool.
cool beans.
Yeah. And yeah. So that Gus got published by accident. Okay. The next book I had published after that was Inventory in the Badlands, that got published in Scotland. Okay. I saw a little advertisement in a thing called Poets and Writers, that this place over in Scotland was looking for manuscripts. So I said, what the fuck? They're not going to do anything, but I'll send it across to Scotland and see what happens. About 3 months later, I get a letter from them saying that, it won this award and they're going to publish it. And I thought, Jesus Christ, this is ridiculous. So that gets published by accident. Okay. Now, there's a little quick story in between the time I got the letter and the time that it got published. It took 3 years for it to get published. And every 6 months or so, I would write them a letter saying, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" And they would always write me back a nice, like I hadn't told them that they sucked ass or anything, nice civilized letter. And then 6 months later, I'd write them another one and they'd send me back a nice blah, 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 blah. Well, it turns out they're located on the Isle of Skye, which is right off the coast of Scotland. But I didn't know anything about this. And when I finally looked on a map, you can't get to this place except by plane or it's going to take a boat a while to get there. So anything that they get is imported. Any rate, long story short, it took them 3 fucking years and they finally published it. So they were my 2 first published books, and they were both by accident.
Wow, good story.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's cool after the fact.
Mhm.
Okay. This is from the book that I mentioned, another one called Beyond Redemption. Remember you guys?
Yeah.
So I decided to pick some out of there and read them. It's called Doorways. And I think it's the first poem in the book. You'll find me lurking in shadowed doorways. Don't know what to do with the light. Don't know what to do with the sun. And drawn to homeless people. Remind me of abandoned houses, mysterious histories locked somewhere deep inside. Similar to finding great moments in history at the bottom of a discarded paper cup. My friends all said I was crazy, and I had no argument with that whatsoever at all, even in the slightest bit, but still hung out in the doorways anyway. Told them I'd get some therapy at some later date. This is called black ink. The black ink bleeds across the paper, forming magical shapes and images that glide into the night sky, silhouetted by the gentle light of the moon into the immeasurable depths of hallucinogenic heavens, dragons, horses, women, crows, celestial breasts, for stars to suckle, all circling a lachrymose moon. Amidst a storm of truth and lies, the bodies of mortals impaled on cosmic shafts. This is called State of Grace. On the back of our currency reads, "In God we trust," the original motto going all the way back to 1776 for our economic system. And that was, "Let the buyer beware." Not exactly an endorsement for a consumer protection agency. Well, the buyers have been wary but outsmarted, and the sellers have amassed wealth beyond King Solomon's mind and left the buyers left squirming penniless and in squalor. Okay, this is called City Light Lights. When you're walking down the street at night, you've got the street lamps to go green, the stop red, the caution yellow, traffic lights just above your head. From the interstate, you can see the ocean of office, condo, hotel, story, on top of story lights, so thick you might think you can swim in it. When you look up, you see the Milky Way, the galaxy, the universe, the countless stars, and all of it, every bit of it, will disappear in the morning. Okay, who's next? Okay, Hopper Paul.
And Larry, don't forget Larry wanted to read something.
Oh, that's all right. Larry, go ahead. What do you want to read?
Yeah, just one. Another short story. I have to give credit to Al. He helped edit this and made it actually a better story. I like it a lot. And I've also given him permission, if he chooses to do so, to formulate this into a poem. He can just go ahead and do that. And doesn't bother me at all. He can copyright it for all I care.
No.
So here we go. Any ball, any bat, any wall, any time by Larry Ingram. I was shanghaied to my grandparents' house in Mayfair, a section of Philadelphia, at 12. After Dad split, my mom couldn't afford all three of us, so I got kicked out. Grandmom expected me to go to 9 a.m. mass with the rest of the kids on Sundays. So dutifully, I left at 8:45 for a little walk to Four Chefs Catering. We had broom handles hidden beside Four Chefs in the weeds, along with half balls, solid rubber balls, tennis balls, and hollow soft rubber balls. So for an hour or so on Sunday morning at Four Chefs, we played ball in deference to the Lord.
I remember that one. Good show, Larry.
Nice. Thank you.
Well, instead of, I'm realizing what time it's getting to be. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go with I'm trying to decide. Colonel Custer over here.
Mustard?
Custer, yeah, General Mustard.
Oh, mustard.
Sure. In the library.
With the candlestick.
You're up. You're on,
If Paul reads good.
Paul.
Doesn't get
I
it.
thought you were talking to Hop.
I'm actually in the library, so.
You're in
yeah,
the
no,
library.
I can,
Is in the
totally,
library.
totally up to you. Well, if you want to go, or I'll go. Does not matter to me.
All right. I got it up on the screen. I'll go. It's called Shifting Shelving from Mangle in June. Gus said one night he heard the voices from inside the book speaking, singing in different harmonics, different vocal ranges. It quickly became clear to him he had to tear the bookshelves down, turn them around, change them, rearrange them to suit the new requirements of the masters. The unruly rhythmic sound of the Beats, Ginsberg, Burroughs, Corso, Kerouac, and out on the fringes, Ferlinghetti. And right next door, the sound of the world from Charles Bukowski, the unmistakable urban soul of Frank O'Hara. The playwright, Leroy Jones. Apologies. Apologies. I'm starting where I left off. The playwrights, Leroy Jones, Edward I.B. Tennessee Williams, Eugene O'Neill, Clifford Odets, the voices of a century, all geared up and moving in new directions. And he decided to rearrange the shelf to facilitate their path. Next one is City of Dreams, also from Mangle in June, but it says The Vault, so it might be an old one. Buildings pierce the clouds, domed libraries, Roman and Greek columned museums, parks the size of small cities, policemen riding horses, horse-drawn carriages, formally dressed doormen, gold and diamonds in the streets, hanging from ears and necks of women, every language in the world spoken on every corner, every size and shape of every human, guns, knives, murders, rapes, robberies, vicious assaults, prostitution of every kind, urban mythologies, every religion, every form of spirituality, every tool for every variety of nightmare and dream. Okay, this is They Are Out There from Mangle in September. The poems are out there, floating in the air, billions produced and jettisoned every day. All we got to do is reach out, grab them as they float by, and share them with our friends. Here's one. His neighbor yelled at her kid so loud that even he brushed his teeth and went to bed. I don't know what that means, but it's funny. One last one. I wrote this one in August called Crooked Road. Indigo inspired, I see Galileo's head on the block and rail against bigotry like a hell that never ends, with Florida school books preaching slavery's silver linings and central bucks banning books they've never read. Questioning who should take the blame for this. Maybe old white hetero males will take the fall. But Bastille freedom turns into guillotine tyranny, and we soon become enslaved by noble beliefs. There's more than one answer to these questions, zigzagging me towards the light. That's it. Thanks.
Good.
Very nice.
Nice.
Very nice. Hop.
Okay, I will be quick. This first one is a variation, a sequel, if you will, to a great work of 20th century literary art. Al, this one is for you. It's The Death of a Sex Toy Salesman.
Okay.
This one is called The Punisher. It can simulate the genitals of a Bornean orangutan. Allow me to demonstrate. Okay. I've written and read some sports poems in the past, so this is a variation on a sports poem. Kind of ironic, isn't it, that a man who collected women like stamps, i.e. fucked them, over 20,000 of them, more than 2 a day, could have fathered dozens, if not hundreds of children, was called Wilt. I always wondered that. And just 2 more quick ones. This is called Precarious. You don't need to fire them. They just disappear. And last one, which has no title. I've read some LA poems before. I think this is my first San Francisco poem, but it's not really a San Francisco poem. It's just untitled poem. In Noe Valley, people write on trees. The words can't wait for the pulping. And end of poem. End of me.
Very nice.
Metaphorically speaking.
Oh,
Thank you.
good ones. Good ones.
Good job, Bob.
Okay. This is called, well, this is no. All right. It's called The Bells. I hear the bells ringing in a cathedral, a flashback to my childhood when things seemed pure. Turned out it was pure bullshit, but it was pure. Okay, this is this is a found poem to a certain extent. I found it and turned it into a poem. It's called 30 Dead Dogs. 30 dead dogs were found inside a Marlton, New Jersey home. Police also found a child and 14 other dogs, along with numerous cats and rabbits in the home. Several of the dogs were in very bad health, and one had to be euthanized. P.S. The rabbits made for a really good stew. The cat scarfed down the leftovers and died. End of poem. Now, see, I thought that was funny.
It was cute.
The cats enjoyed it.
For a very short time. Okay, this I know, I'm pretty sure I've read this before. It's called Whose End. I fondly remember whose end is up, and I am pleased beyond description. End of book. Found poem number, it doesn't matter what number it is. Pope Francis has previously acknowledged the criticism directed at him from some U.S. conservatives, once quipping that it was an honor to be attacked by Americans. I thought that was cool for a fucking pope. All right. I'm gonna close out with this one. It's called The Closet. I started out hiding in the closet from the bomb, gradually found comfort and security in the dark of the closet, eventually found myself reading in the closet, copulating with my girlfriend in the closet, masturbating in the closet when my girlfriend wasn't around. Found myself musing in the closet about the world, about the stars, about the universe, about infinity. Found myself writing in the closet, or more accurately, recording events, including dreams, that came upon me in the street, writing down the sliding board with each wondrous second glued to my ass. Thank you very much. And before we leave, I'd like to I'd like to say I'm sorry about my behavior tonight, but I won't. Because
It
I'm
wouldn't
not.
be the same without it. Al.
That's the
Yeah,
poem.
well,
Oh, man.
Well, and
Um,
I'm with you. I absolutely fucking hate summer as well.
I've been enduring summer for the last 77 years.
Ugh,
Enduring.
Well,
I
Florida
understand.
has summer all year round.
Enduring is a correct one.
I totally live in the wrong state.
That's why I got out of Florida.
I'll have to
A
work on
bunch
that.
of people from Texas are moving here. We call them Flexins.
Where are you in Florida?
That's priceless.
We're in Gainesville.
Uh-huh.
Some Michigan people come down to Flishigans, we call them.
Michigan.
Flishiganians, but mostly Flexins.
A lot
It's
of people from the Midwest come
not
in.
conservative enough over in Texas, so they're coming over here
I
Yeah,
think
wow.
joining the authoritarian party.
I think the Flexins were on the was it Star Trek?
Yeah.
The Flexins and that the other guys with the weird ears and the thing, and
Yes,
what were they called?
those.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Maybe I'm talking about it was some kind of Star Trek theory. Series. Never fucking mind.
I remember what you mean.
Yeah. It was like he had the reverse of a dent, like a mohawk, but it was made out of flesh and bone. And then he had stitches on each side of him.
It was a
Ugly.
brow
Wait,
ridge
wait.
that went that way.
Klingon.
Yeah.
Klingons, right?
And Klingons, right.
Yeah.
The Klingons and the Flexins.
The lizard people.
Yes.
Did you ever drink Romulan ale?
No, but I almost
Nice
did.
stuff.
You
Nice
probably did.
stuff.
You don't remember.
No, I took Mark to Comic-Con one time. I let him wear my Princess Leia, Mona Leia t-shirt. So he was cool. And we did pass a stand where they had a bunch of all the Ghostbusters stuff and selling Ghostbuster stuff. And then the next one over had all the Star Trek things. And I think there was some leftover bottles of Romulan ale left.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, well, since I'm sober now, I guess I won't get Romulan ale, but wonder what it tastes like.
But you wind up like you wake up on a different planet with like an alien in your bed. It's terrible.
And this would be a good time of year for you guys to drink that shit.
I
Yeah.
have a feeling it might make me thirstier.
Yeah, just a little bit. All right, so this is the after reading therapy session, right?
Yes.
It is, yeah.
Do it.
Hey, you should get that published and charge big bucks for that too.
Well,
We
good
love
night,
you
guys.
Good night.
Love you.
Thanks for having it.
Everybody,
They don't make therapy sessions this long anymore.
thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
This is like the length of 3 of them, actually. You think
Have
about
a
it.
great,
Or 4
great
of them.
evening.
How do you do
Get your
do you
money's worth.
live long and
Job.
prosper? I gotta go like that.
Edited video in the way at some point, or maybe it's better unedited. I don't know. Just it
Somebody,
works.
some
Thank you,
dippy
Al.
broad, either in the 1950s or the 1960s, sang a song called "Thank You and Good Night."
Thank you and good
Oh,
night.
yeah, who sings that?
I remember
Remember?
that.
But
Yeah.
now I have my own version of the song that says "Fuck you and good night."
Good night.
Good
Bye,
place to
Al.
end.